man, I definitely agree that American support of Israel is questionable. Um, and I'm not anti-Semitic either. I'm actually Jewish. I went to Israel a few years ago on the birthright trip, which the Israeli government and some Jewish philanthropists pay for. All expenses paid. 2 weeks I got to spend there, and the idea of the trip is to convince Jewish people who live in America to move to Israel and grow the population of the country. And um, I wouldn't exactly call it a theocracy, though. It's at least as secular as the United States, the government. I mean, certainly they have a rich cultural tradition that they draw from, but every nation does. And so, I wouldn't call them a theocracy. But I do question American support of Israel, or monetary support, because it may not be an official Israeli government policy, but the Israeli people are continuing to build settlements in the Palestinian territory, in the West Bank, and that really aggravates the Palestinians because the Israelis have more money, more resources, more ability to develop land and use water, and it's a desert, so there's not much water available, and so the Palestinians sort of get the short end of the stick when the Israelis come in and start building condominiums in their territory, and you can't justify the terrorist response from the Palestinians, but I think you start to understand how human beings could be driven to such extremes when you look at the conditions that the Palestinians live in. And, it's not Israel's fault, but I think the situation is such that the continued expansion of Israelis into the West Bank contributes to the plight of the Palestinian people, for the reasons I just explained. And, the Palestinians are trying to stand up. They want their own state. They want to be sovereign. And Israel is not exactly being cooperative because their government keeps saying, look, our security comes first. And so they justify, continued raids in Palestine and military action in Palestine. And certainly it seems more civilized when Israel strategically bombs a target where, they had intelligence which suggested that there were terrorists there. But when you see the other side, when you see the Palestinians blowing themselves up in public spaces, it's a lot easier to take the Israeli side. But you have to keep in mind that the only reason the Israelis have these advanced weapons technologies is because of U.S. support. Palestinians are a very poor people, and so their only way to really have the same type of political or military power is to, fund suicide bombers. It's the only way for them to be heard. And again, I'm not justifying it. Terrorism is an evil, but terrorism has many faces. It's not just something that suicide bombers do. It's something that civilized states engage in. It's something that I would define some American actions as, and it's when you try to when you engage in military action on a people for political purposes, that is terrorism. And you can say that Israel is trying to defend itself, but when you give Jewish people this land in, it's a hotbed, and this conflict between Jewish people and Arabs has been going on for thousands of years, and to build a Jewish state right there, and it's their holy land and all of that, but you're asking for trouble, and I don't see this conflict just going away anytime soon. I would hope the United States does begin to question the monetary support it gives to Israel, and hopefully hold that threat of withdrawing support over the Israeli government's head in order to push them towards accepting and working towards the establishment of a Palestinian state. That seems to be the best course of action, even though I'm somewhat pessimistic about even that working. But I agreed with your video, and let's hope that no one responds to these videos claiming, that we're anti-Semitic or something, because it's just so silly to do that. We're criticizing the policies of a state, not the inherent qualities of any particular race or religion. So let's make sure that everyone is clear on that. But thanks for your video, and thanks for listening.